Well, Donald Trump has stepped up the rhetoric even further in his attacks on Hillary Clinton based on her husband's infidelities. In a new interview with Patrick Healy of the New York Times, Trump said, quote, Hillary Clinton was married to the single greatest abuser of women in the history of politics. Hillary was an enabler, and she attacked the women who Bill Clinton mistreated afterward. I think it's a serious problem for them, and it's something that I'm considering talking about more in the near future. He's certainly talking about it now. Award-winning journalist and CNN political analyst Carl Bernstein wrote the book on Hillary Clinton. He joins us now. The book is A Woman in Charge. Carl, I'm sure it's no coincidence that President Clinton is talking about Secretary Clinton's heartbreaks and disappointments when their personal life is very much in the public discourse right now, in no small part due to Donald Trump.
I think two things are going on at once here. We're watching a rageaholic candidate for the President of the United States become unhinged before our eyes. And at the same time, we're watching his campaign throw almost all of its marbles into the notion that the great issue here that might resound for them is that Hillary Clinton has mistreated women who were involved with her husband. And they're throwing all their bets on this particular aspect as a way of winning the presidency. And it's deep in the sewer, and at the same time there is a kind of legitimacy, if it were discussed in context and truthfully, to look at how Hillary Clinton has handled this terribly difficult business that's been thrown at her by her husband.
And this is something you've written about. I mean, one of the narratives, as you mentioned, that Trump surrogates have been putting forward the last couple of days, that Hillary Clinton intimidated, discredited women who had affairs with Bill Clinton decades ago or made allegations against him. What is the actual truth that you've covered in your book?
It's a story that really requires many pages and a couple of hours of television, I think, to tell in context. There is no question, particularly back in Arkansas, when enemies of Bill Clinton alleged that he had maintained a slush fund, which was not true, to support 5 women with whom he was having affairs. And the truth is he was probably having affairs with at least a couple of those women. The women were named, and the law firm that Hillary Clinton was a partner of, the Rose Law Firm, undertook to investigate the women and to get statements from them that they were not having affairs with Bill Clinton. According to Betsy Wright, who was Bill Clinton's secretary and who told me that they did get statements from those women, they included Jennifer Flowers, that there were no affairs that took place. Some of those statements were probably not true. At the same time, Hillary Clinton interrogated one of those women. So a lot of things go back to that original incident.
And how do you think Secretary Clinton will react if Trump brings all of this up in the next debate? I mean, she's certainly been dealing with this, answering questions about her husband's infidelities for 25 years. Do you think she'll be thrown off guard by it, by something he mentions, or what?
I don't think we can predict how she's going to respond publicly, because she goes to many places with this. First of all, she is a deeply religious person, and it's her faith that has gotten her through an awful lot of this, including the Lewinsky period. She goes to the Bible, she meditates, and that's part of where she gets some stability and stays level on these questions. There's also anger that she has had through her life at Bill Clinton for putting her and them into this position. And at the same time, her view of the, quote, vast right-wing conspiracy is fanning these flames, including Donald Trump as a representative of that particular school of politics, even though he might not come from the vast right-wing conspiracy. She views this whole question the same way to some extent. It makes her very angry, but she's determined to undermine this line of attack. At the same time, there is a way, I think, that a more reasonable candidate than Donald Trump, if he wanted to make this an issue, could bring it up for discussion. But certainly Roger Ailes, Rudy Giuliani, they're advising Donald Trump, and they're advising him in an incendiary way that's blowing up in their faces, I think, and she'll exploit that pretty successfully from everything we've seen in the past.
Yeah. Carl Bernstein, we shall see. Thanks very much. Coming up, Donald Trump says he loves and cherishes women, but he surrounds himself with men who have a questionable history with the opposite sex. And of course, the question is, would the Clinton campaign bring that up if he brings this up at the debate? More ahead.